What's up guys, welcome back to the Taco Rick channel, and behind me is the freshly detailed 2020 TRD Pro, or TRD Off-Road, sorry it's not a Pro, looks like a Pro, it's not a Pro, it's a TRD Off-Road Premium, which I lifted, put bigger tires, all that fun stuff. If you are new to the channel, there's tons of videos on my channel going through everything that I've done to this truck so far, including the custom headlights, and the last video where we detailed the whole entire truck. Today's video, as the title says, we're gonna be doing a 5-tire rotation. So yes, I have 5 tires. This right here is my 5th tire. It is a full-size tire, which is a Goodyear DuraTrack 18, meaning this is an 18-inch rim, obviously, and these rims are fuel coupler rims. If you guys want to know more about the wheels and tires, full video on the wheels and tires, including how I mounted this big tire inside of the spare tire slot on the truck. Now we are going to need a few tools to actually do this 5-tire rotation. One of those is my Roby impact right here, 1/2-inch impact with a 19mm deep socket. That is the size lug nuts that I'm rocking on the Tacoma. I'm also going to be using a breaker bar just because I do not have enough torque on my actual Roby impact to break these loose, so I'm going to use this to break them loose. And I have my little adapter for my locking wheel nuts that I have on all of my rims. And specific to the fuel coupler rims, there is a hubcap that you need to use a little Allen key to take them off with, so we have that as well. Obviously got the Harbor Freight jack right here to jack up the truck and be able to remove the tires. Now typically I use the jack to lift it up, and then I just use my jack stands over here, also from Harbor Freight, to do this process to make it a little bit quicker. But unfortunately, I just literally realized a week ago that there was a recall. So heads up to anyone if you're watching this video, there was a major recall for jack stands from Harbor Freight, both the red ones and the silver ones, and mine happened to fall under that recall. So I need to go take these back to Harbor Freight and get some new ones that are not under that recall. I'm not trying to get crushed underneath of my vehicle. Kind of scary knowing that I've done 2 lifts now, like had this thing completely on jack stands and like was under it lifting my truck, and there's a recall on those, so that's kind of scary to know now. But bonus plug there for you guys if you got Harbor Freight jack stands. Make sure yours are not under recall. Again, I'm gonna pop up the picture right here so you guys know as well. And then the last tool over here is my torque wrench, so that we can torque down the lug nuts after we're done. All right, like I mentioned, first steps, we're gonna be removing the hubcaps and also breaking all of my lug nuts loose. Enjoy the process while I go ahead and start doing that on all 4 tires, and then I'll show you guys the diagram of how the 5-tire rotation works. There's actually 2 different methods to this. One is for front-wheel drive vehicles, and the other is for 4-wheel drive / rear-wheel drive vehicles, which is what we have here. We have a Tacoma, we have a truck, 4-wheel drive, and also rear-wheel drive. So because I can only go 1 wheel at a time, basically, with just having a jack, we're gonna start with where the spare tire goes. So the spare is going to go on the rear passenger side, so that is where we're going to start. So also, while I have the tire off, this is a great time to inspect my suspension, especially since I have a lift kit on here, and to also go ahead and torque down all of the suspension bolts to make sure they are still basically torqued. And for anyone wondering, I have a Rough Country kit on here. It is the Rough Country N3 with the strut lift in the front and a block in the rear. It's a 3-inch lift kit overall. There's a whole video on it. But on the manufacturer instructions, you are to retorque all of the bolts basically 500 miles after you initially put it on, and then you're supposed to retorque them basically every time you do a tire rotation, is what it works out to be, every 5,000-ish miles. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to retorque down all of the bolts, make sure everything is good to go, and then slap the tire on here. With the first tire changed out, we're now gonna move that back passenger tire to the front passenger side, and then we'll move on to the next one. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the front side and do this tire. Another thing I kind of wanted to point out while doing this 5-tire rotation, this is a great time to clean your wheels and tires, especially if you haven't just detailed your vehicle. But also, even with detailing my vehicle, I couldn't really get behind the wheel wells really well. So being able to get in here and get all the last little bits of dirt that are behind the actual rim itself, especially if you don't have a black rim like a silver one, it's a great opportunity with the wheel off to be able to do that while you're doing your tire rotation. All right, so the front passenger side will now go to the rear driver side. So let's get back there and let's change that. If you've been following along, obviously you know that the last tire now, the rear is going to go on the front driver's side, and then the front driver's side will go in as the spare tire. So let's go ahead and finish up the last tire. So final steps here are to obviously put my last tire here, put it in the spare tire location. So we're going to do that next. So now the last two final steps of the tire rotation are to torque down the lug nuts with a torque wrench. I highly recommend not relying on just like your impact to make sure your lugs are tight. Hit them with a torque wrench, make sure they're torqued down to at least 100 foot-pounds. That way, you know your rims aren't gonna fall off. So go do that, and then we gotta put the hubcaps on, and we'll be done. I forgot to mention, if you guys have never done this before, you wanna torque down in a star pattern, same for when you put the lug nuts on. So left, right, back, left, a star pattern. Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so technically the whole entire 5-tire rotation is now complete. Some bonus tips though here at the end. One, that spare tire when you're doing a 5-tire rotation, well, just in general, when you're doing a tire rotation, when you finish, check your air pressure in all your tires. A lot of times that spare tire that you put back into the cycle, basically, a lot of times it's lost air pressure. Don't ask me why, I don't really know. Especially in the wintertime when the rims get cold, they tend to leak a little bit of air, especially if you got aluminum rims. So there's just a little bonus tip. Check your air pressure, make sure you got adequate air pressure in all of your tires. I run anywhere from 35 to 38 in my tires. And then the last tip, and I've mentioned this multiple times, but when you do new rims, new tires that don't fit your stock tire iron, make sure you have a breaker bar of some sort with the appropriate size socket, especially if you have a locking one as well. Make sure you keep this in your vehicle. Obviously, in case you have an emergency and you need to change your tire, you want to make sure you have the right wrench to be able to actually do it. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to check my air pressure. I'm going to put this back in the truck. Oh, also, I got to keep an Allen key for my hubcaps. Alright guys, that is all for this quick little video on how to do a 5-tire rotation. I hope you guys thought it was helpful. Also, was a great idea to make sure I checked my air pressure because all my tires were actually anywhere from 30 to 32 psi, which is on the low side for the air pressure that I run these at for maximum like tread wear and also for the best fuel economy, especially when you got a lifted truck. Every little bit of MPG counts. But anyways guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you thought it was helpful, you think it would help someone else, be sure to slap that like button. It helps the channel out a lot. Leave down in the comment section down below what you guys thought of this video, or if you have any video recommendations for future videos, as well as just in general, let me know how you guys are doing. What are you guys thinking of the truck build so far? What mods do you think I should do next? I'm thinking cold air intake or a light bar or both. I don't know. I got a lot of ideas of stuff I want to do to this truck. It's definitely nowhere near done. So leave down in the comment section down below what you guys think. Anyways guys, be sure to click that subscribe button so that way you can see all of the videos that are going to be coming up, all the mods, all the cool stuff we're going to be doing. I upload every single week with a brand new awesome video, so hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and like always guys, I'll see you guys next time with an awesome video. Taco Rick out. Peace. Also, forgot to mention that normally only takes me like half an hour. This actually took like an hour because I had to film it, but for anyone wondering how long this takes, about half an hour. It's not a long process.